Hello, today I want to introduce digital ethnography, and I will use Worldcoin as an example. In this course, I will show you what calls Worldcoin as a digital institution. Before start, let's talk about ethnography questions. In ethnography, we want to know who designed the definition for the human, which bodies may be excluded. Do institutional systems reflect cultural or political bias? These questions show that identity systems are never neutral. So what is the digital ethnography? In traditional ethnography, we will stay in a physical place and focus on kinship systems, religious, rituals, and local authority. Digital ethnography shifts attention to platforms, algorithms, and interfaces. This reflects a broader social change. Institutions are no longer only human or legal, but increasingly technical and automated. Let's define digital ethnography. A qualitative approach adapting ethnography method to study social interactions, meaning making and cultures within digital environments, including the platforms and algorithms. And in digital ethnography, the methodology combines participation, observation from traditional ethnography, and discourse analysis and multimodal data collection, including screenshots, chat log, and metadata. The researchers analyze how technical systems shape identity and power while navigating ethical issues, including privacy and consent, in hybrid online-offline contexts. Let's take this digital ethnography example. A TikTok user posts her pole dance picture in the TikTok and be demoted by the system, so she write a paper to discuss this issue, and she used the digital ethnography methodology. Her research focus is to study how flagging and deplatforming shape inequality on Instagram and TikTok. Examining online abuse through platforms of dances and moderation systems. Her methodology include semi-structured virtual ethnography interviews, participant observation of platform experiences and algorithm behavior, and also include field notes and semantic analysis of lived experiences. Also include cross-platform tracing, the discussion in Discord, Twitter, Telegram, and her key analytic concepts include platform governance assemblage, digital mobile behavior and coordinated reporting. In her ethnography insight, she found moderation tools become social power structure. Marginalized creators experience emotional, economic, and identity impacts. So what is an institution? In anthropology, institutions are no longer limited role. They include who is is recognized as a member, how membership is obtained, what happened when rules are violated, and whether rules are taken for granted. Institutions structure everyday life and shape and shape what feels normal or accepted. On digital platforms, institutions operate through technology, economic incentive, and network effects. Rules are enforced by systems rather than people. This represents a major transformation in how social order is produced and maintained. So why we choose Worldcoin? Worldcoin seeks to establish a global digital identity infrastructure through biometric verification, rather than rely on passports or state-issued credentials. Identity is authenticated via a device that scans the human iris. This positions Worldcoin as a compelling example of imagining non-state institutional authority in digital governance. In Worldcoin ecosystem, including the WLD token, World App, and the World ID. They use World token, WLD token for insensitive to join the ecosystem, and the user app to authentic users, and use World ID to identify your identity and membership. There are 17 million members join this, and you can invite your friends to join this ecosystem, and you can get the Worldcoin WLD token. And you also can buy the device, then you will become the community operator, and this is your hierarchy. You can see the hierarchy in this ecosystem. And so how we can study Worldcoin? The first, we need to define the field. Our field is in the ecosystem, including the World App, UI, app verification sites, social network, and we need to treat Worldcoin as a digital institution assemblage. Then we need to collect data, participation of the onboarding and the verification flows, and trace the ethnography, notification, referral mechanic, reward change. Semi-structured interviews with the verified user, field applicants, and the operators. We need to capture algorithmic gossip and community sense-making. The third step, we need to do the analysis strategy. We can use a semantic coding to get the membership and the personhood, and to study the insensitive and the symbolic capital, and to know the governance of authority and the power. Then we triangulate interview quotes, platforms traces, and public discourse to analyze this ecosystem. Then we have our output, but we need to follow the ethic. No biometric creation, anonymized identity. Focus on how digital infrastructure produce legitimacy, inclusion, and exclusion. So let's ask the question: If there is no state, no law, and no police, how does a digital system decide who counts as a legitimate participant, who is allowed to join or remain, and who can be excluded?